Well, it's been a busy 3 weeks, but unfortunately I don't have a lot to show for it. I was in the stand 3 weeks ago hoping to see these hogs show up. They'd come a couple times, and so I got set up in the stand as you saw. Carpe Sus! I thought this might be the scout from the group coming in, so taking a look at it there at 35 yards in my dried up water tank. Thinking that it's going to go back and bring the other hogs in, however it walked away, and I never saw it again. Instead, I spent the rest of the evening watching deer and raccoons under the feeder at 100 yards with my RIX Sleep L6 thermal weapon sight, and then also with the RIX Tourer T20 digital night vision sight. Now, I thought there was going to be a problem with photonic barriers. What photonic barriers are is when you've got a light source or a reflected light that is in the foreground and it blocks everything in the background behind it. I was able to focus the beam on the IR illuminator and see the animals at 100 yards no problem. Over the next couple weeks, not much happened. I hunted quite a bit. I don't have any content to show you from it, but I'm now on a property where a lot of rooting down in that low pasture that the landowner asked me to look for, and so I'm watching that area. What I didn't expect is I've got the rifle staged here very nicely, and it's actually pointing at the direction the hogs are going to come in from, which was behind me, and I did not expect that. They're going to end up moving through the woods, and I'm going to take a shot at them way back here, deep in the woods, about 50 to 75 yards down a little trail, and then off in the woods. So this is directly behind the truck where the rifle was pointed a minute ago. I've got hogs there in the woods. I've got a lot of small brush in the woods. Looks like vines and shrubs there that could quite possibly deflect a bullet. That's a little thicker than I'd like to try shooting through. And then there's also the problem that I know that there are cattle in the woods as well. I've seen them previously. This is from a little bit later, but that's one of the cattle that are in the woods. I've got to be sure of my shot, so that's not a shot I'm going to want to take. So I follow the hogs around, and I've now got a little view through the woods there. And over here, that's the field that I was in previously. That's the direction I'm expecting the hogs to kind of run back and cross through again when they run after I start shooting. So I've got a little window through the woods right there. I'm thinking this is a good place for me to take my shot, if I can just get one of the hogs to stand still for just a second. I believe right now what they're looking for on the ground are going to be acorns. I did not go back and double check, but there are a lot of acorns on the ground. Alright, here we go. Hog goes down. I scan left, waiting to see them appear in my field of view. And they aren't running that direction. I hear them come up behind me, and I pan around the other direction. I never see them. I come back around for the second time, and I can find an armadillo, and I can't find my hog. My hog has gotten up. This is the image just after the shot broke. Notice the bush right at the hog's butt there on the right hand side. This is when I spun around and passed it. The hog has moved a couple feet. I'm thinking he got up and left on me. Maybe got into one of the ravines, and that was it. However, a little bit later, caught this hog out in the open. He was actually directly in front of me at the gate. When I pulled in, he's now moved off way off to the left about 100 yards or so. I actually have a bunch of hogs off to the right, but they're in the horse pens behind the landowner's house. So I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit, which is going to be this hog out in the open. Here we go. She goes down. I thought she was going to be a boar, but she turned out to be a sow. And I pan over to check out the other hogs. And they're running out of the back pen area, headed towards the neighbor's property. And you're going to see them disappear at the fence line, which is the property line, and that's going to be at about 285 yards. She turned out to be a 130-pound pregnant sow.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
And she was pregnant with 7 on board, and she did it for my night.
Carpe sus, my friends.